Cool. All right, drain tile training. Not going to be digging it in. It's a little wet, and there's a lot of things you can do just with the connection to show everybody how it works. So drain tile, first off, you have different types of drain tile that you're working with, perforated or non-perforated. Corrugated refers to the undulations in the piping, so the ups and downs. There are some instances where you have selections of perforated and non-perforated on the same job. Perforation just allows for the water to weep out along the length of tubing. Just normal solid corrugated pipe is designed to carry the water without any leaks to its designated location so that it can come out of a pop-up or into a dry well, etc. When do you want to use the burst? When you want to weep along the way, you use perforated. When you want to carry the water without draining, you use non-perforated or just corrugated. So, cool. Coming down from the downspout, you've got these connectors. They're designed to be installed with screws. I oftentimes use the actual downspout screws to install these. Keep note, there are different sizes of downspouts. There's 2x3s and 3x4s. So you're looking at a difference. I'd bring one of each, until just to confirm. But the purchaser should say on there what size. Is it always accurate? I would say no. So just keep that in mind that there are different sizes, and we have both available. If we don't, let us know so we can keep restocking. How these work is you just slide it over. This is the female end, the male end. You screw it in through the sides. Just make sure it's buttered up nice and tight so it doesn't weeble wobble all over the place. How you attach these, it's just a simple push, and then it's on there, I'm not going to try to get that off now. I'll get that off later. But it's a solid connection, not going anywhere. If we are installing a drain box, the drain box is a whole nother apparatus. I didn't grab it, but basically you're going to be running your downspout to 2 inches above the grade. You're going to be installing your drain box. It's usually a 10x10 or a 12x12 drain box. So there's a grade on top, and then the box is about 12 to 16 inches deep. Then there's a hole, so you're going to be burying that box. What that 2 inches gap is for is so that if any leaf matter collects in the downspout, lands on the grate, is allowed to be washed away by water or broomed away, however the leaves and matter go. With those boxes, there's one cap and one open end. You're going to keep that cap on the one side so that the water is allowed to fill up, and then the other end is your exit. There is a pan at the bottom to collect sediment and the asphalt from the roof, from the shingles that falls through the downspouts. That pan needs to be accessible. So another reason that 2 inches is important is there's 2 Phillips head screws. You lift that grate off, slide it away. They can scoop out all the shit that gathers up in there. Easy for reinstallment. For attaching the drain tile to the actual drain box, it's a tape situation. Whenever we tape something, I do like, it's best practice to use a screw as well, just to make sure with freeze and thaw, it doesn't get pulled away. Because if that separation happens that close to the house, it's a big no-no. All that water is just going to go down the foundation and cause all sorts of problems for them in the future that they don't know about because it's underground. Going forward, if you're trenching out your pipe, you want that drain tile 2 inches below the grade. That purpose is so that the grass can grow at a healthy rate and establish roots on top. Also, you're going to want to make sure that the freeze and thaw doesn't lift it out of the ground when we have warranty work and we got to reset all this pipe. That sucks. And it happens. I mean, especially in high water areas where there's erosion, you want to give yourself a barrier, a little bit of cushion. So 2 inches is a good height. How you want to pitch your pipe, especially if it's non-perforated, corrugated, you're going to want to take a level down your hole, down your trench, to make sure that it's pitched appropriately the whole way. Another easy way to do it is to run a string line all along it, and then measure down from that string line, making sure you have the appropriate pitch. If you have any other questions on that, you can come see me or look to a patio video that we'll have on file, because there's a lot of setting pitches on string lines on there. For corrugated perforated, we are looking at installing sock. That's a need, that's a must-have for any perforated pipe, this knife cut, because if you don't have that sock on there, you're looking at sediment filling that pipe up and clogging it in the future. It's not, it might still run, but just not as efficiently. You could have backup all the way up the downspout. I've seen it. especially in the freeze and thaw of springtime. Connecting pipe to pipe. Usually we have 50-foot rolls in there. If you're splicing together end to end, these connectors are great. They're just female connectors. Just push them on just like that one. They're solid. They don't go anywhere. Tees. You've got these. They're male connectors. You just put them on both ends, and then if you need to tee in, like if you're running one line and you've got another downspout along the run in the side yard or something, you can connect it. 90-degree turns are often hard to accommodate with drain tile. You got to make this big old swoop. You got to plan it out. It's kind of messy. 90s are fine. As long as the pitch remains consistent along the pipe, you're good. Getting out to the end, usually we install a pop-up. There's other situations. If you have any questions on dry wells, that's a whole other topic. But with the pop-up, that's the most common. Pop-ups occur, function basically from water pressure coming down the downspout, running down that pitch, and then the water pressure actually lifts the cap up, and then after the water pressure is gone, the cap goes down. These are replaceable, so if they get broken on a job, there's extras. So you can pop this back on, you're good. For attaching these, also tape is the only way to attach these properly. Another way you can do it is put a connector on and tape that connection. Otherwise, if you don't have one of these, you're going to have to cut this because they're the same size. They're exactly the same diameter. So in that case, you're going to take a knife, slit it, 3 or 4 inches, however far the distance is in here, and then you're going to stick it in and then tape back. To secure this connection more than that, again, I recommend a screw. We do have self-tapping. They're nice. If you don't have self-tapping, just make sure you bring a drill bit along with you. So any drain tile job, make sure you have a screwdriver. All of the downspout screws will work with the hex that's provided on the interchangeable screwdriver that we have in all the trucks. So that's a good hand option. If you need to bore holes though, just make sure you bring an impact with you. So like for this sort of thing, you can't really do that with a screwdriver effectively. It's going to be a mess. So I think that's it. Any questions?
Do we ever do French drain at the end of the yard or something?
We do.
Yep.
French drains, we don't do this. I don't like to install the foam French drains very much. They tend to fail. I've replaced like 2 in the last year. I do install custom French drains where we have fabric clear stone in there that's lined, and then you wrap it, and then you just put sod or you put soil and seed over it. That is a way we do it. Good question. What else? Cool. Thanks, guys.